yesterday. And of
Oh,
course, she is someone who works closely with President Trump in the cabinet as top-ranking official in the administration, but also is notable for another reason, because she is married to the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and you saw how McConnell turned on the president in a really remarkable way.
What about the black rock?
And we should remind you, this is likely the reason the president put out that statement overnight saying that there will be an orderly transition of power on January 20th, because there is a real concern for the White House to move into a series of high-profile mass resignations.
He is such a big boy.
And it is in a desperate state of mind.
President of the United States is real. What's immediately called for here is yes, the Fifth Amendment ought to be invoked. If it can't be, and I think there's a growing view that it has to be done, is somehow Donald Trump in the last 2 weeks of his presidency must be put in some kind of constitutional straitjacket so that he cannot further endanger the national security of this country. There are legal mechanisms as well as pressure from McConnell, from perhaps the joint leadership of both parties in Congress, calling on the President of the United States for either his resignation, for him to be isolated and withdrawn from the United States. He has been like a madman, that word has been used legally for a vote. His followers, his people, to cause so much provocation, let him stay and stay calm. He must be restrained. And then there's recognition by the Congress, by the Vice President, by members of the cabinet. He must be restrained in the interest of national security and the people of this country, especially at this
You being a big boy.
And I am going to discuss with you about the 25th Amendment requirements and sort of how that might work. I just want to get Nana's reaction real quick though to this reporting on Elaine Chao resigning. It's huge. Carl makes a very fair point that Chao, as other cabinet members who have been there since the start, and she's one of them, have had
You get that money I put in your drawer?
suck it up or
You get that money I put in your drawer?
might be even more critical.
That's from the lady.
When you're transportation secretary, perhaps you're a little bit further
When you had cut her
removed
son hair.
from the crazy and from the madman, but being a Trump to Mitch McConnell, she is an immigrant. She came here to the United States when she was very young, and she has that sensibility, and certainly would be wonderful to be able to talk to her about why this was the final straw. But there is a message being sent, no question about it. One of the issues and one of the questions I had, though, going, as we were looking at the 25th Amendment and whether or not it would be invoked is whether or not someone like her, because of her deep roots in Washington and in the traditional Republican Party, never mind just public service, whether she would be one of those who would try to rally the cabinet for the 25th Amendment. But she clearly
either the majority is less than 21 days from the inauguration. And so they could run out the clock because the entire time that Congress would evaluate and deliberate, Mike Pence would be the President of the United States of America. So the reason I'm shaking my head thinking about the Transportation Secretary is knowing that she has diluted in some fashion.
They are terribly worried and understand the president is not mentally stable, unable to discharge his responsibilities.
You're gonna look like a gentleman.
In a safe manner that defends the Constitution and the people of the United States. So there are means, if they were to use their moral authority, and particularly the Vice President, to say out loud that we are making sure that the President is isolated. He remains the President, but we are going to make sure that nothing, orders that he gives that we regard as dangerous to the interests of the United States. He needs to be isolated in a way that he can no longer do the kind of damage and danger to this country that he has been doing for months, actually.
more, you are seeing Republicans trying to figure out if there is a way to punish the president beyond just rhetoric. And that's a really a good question. And one question I don't know the answer to, maybe Laura does, is whether or not he can be censured after he's already gone, just to prove a point. You know, when it's, well, given the fact that there are only, 2 weeks left in the Trump presidency. What do you think, Laura?
Well, censor is really a symbolic action, and I think that the idea of the President of the United States inciting insurrection requires something far more tangible. And I think this goes back to the words of even President-elect Joe Biden yesterday in response to this, saying, at times the words of the President can inspire, and at times the words of the President can incite. And we saw that very thing happen. And so I think with the 2 weeks we have left, I do believe we incumbent upon members of Congress to respond in a holistic, not merely a symbolic way, to the idea that for the very first time since the 1800s, there was a breach of the People's House. And I want to make that clear to everyone because, of course, that seems to always get lost here. When I look at the damage across the Capitol.
Discover the option that's best for you. Call today and find out more at AAG's free, no-obligation reverse mortgage loan time. Access tax-free cash and stay in the home you love.
You've probably been investing in your home for years, making monthly mortgage payments, doing the right thing. And it's become your family's heart and soul. Well, that investment can give you tax-free cash just when you need it.
Learn how homeowners are strategically using a reverse mortgage loan to cover expenses,
I want to focus on the issue today, judiciary, as well as talking about the Attorney General's office. So I'll have plenty of time to ask the questions I know you're desperately want to ask about everything from 25th Amendment on. I'm not going to speak today. I want this to be the issue we focus on. It's so important. Yesterday, in my view, one of the darkest days in the history of our nation. An unprecedented assault on our democracy. An assault literally on the citadel of liberty in the United States Capitol itself. An assault on the rule of law. An assault. Say he needed 9 justices on the Supreme Court because he thought the election would end up in the Supreme Court and they would hand him the election. He was stunned, truly stunned. And the judges he appointed didn't do his bidding, instead acted with integrity, following the Constitution, upholding the rule of law, not just once or twice or 3 times, but over 60 times. They said over 60 times. More than 60 cases, in state after state after state. And then at the Supreme Court, judges, including people considered, quote, his judges, Trump judges, use his words, looked at their allegations that Trump was making and determined they were without any merit. Nothing was judged to put this election in question or doubt by any of these judges. Want to understand the importance of democratic institutions in this country? Take a look at the judiciary in this nation. Take a look at pressure.
Yes.